Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Edumune Tutorial. In today's class, we shall continue with the topic the Ethernet. So now let's get started. First of all, what is an Ethernet? Ethernet is a way of connecting computers together in a local area network which is LAN. It is the most widely used wired LAN technologies. The basic idea its design is that multiple computers have access to it and can send data in at any time. This is the use of an Ethernet. Now let's see how an Ethernet is evolved. Initially, it was the standard Ethernet of 10 Mbps. Then later comes the fast Ethernet of 100 Mbps. Next followed by the Gigabit Ethernet of 1 Gbps. Then 10 Gigabyte Ethernet. It is of 10 Gbps. Next is 100 Gigabyte Ethernet. Here if you observe, the speed of the Ethernet is changing as the Ethernet is evolved. There are two types of Ethernet. First one is the classic Ethernet, next one is the switched Ethernet. The difference between these are the classic problems solves the multiple access problems and it is of 3 to 10 Mbps. Whereas the switched Ethernet, it helps us to connect the different computers. It is of 1000 Mbps. First, coming to the classic Ethernet, it is snaked around the buildings as a single long wire cables which all the computers were attached to it. This is popularly known as the thick Ethernet. Now later on, as the years passed by, the thin Ethernet became very popular as it is more easy to bend and the connections it is used by the BNC connectors. In this architecture, you can see the Ethernet is connected to different computers where each computer consists of a transceiver and an interface cable. But this was succeeded by the thin Ethernet, which bent more easily. Because this is more cheaper than this, thick Ethernet is most costlier and also difficult to install as it is not that flexible compared to the thin Ethernet. And thin Ethernet also used as a repeaters in a large network. Now what are repeaters? A repeater is a physical layer device which receives, amplifies and retransmits the signal in both the directions. Now let's see the MAC sublayer protocol. First is the classic Ethernet frame protocol and next is the switched Ethernet frame format. The both are almost similar. So let's take a look at each piece. We began with the 8 bytes. This is known as the preamble, which consists of a series of alternation of ones and zeros. This allows the clock at each end of the link to synchronize themselves with the next. Next, in the switched Ethernet, we have the start bit. Here the preamble consists of only 7 bits and the 1 bit is allocated for the starting frame, which helps us to indicate this is the starting of the frame. Whereas in classic Ethernet, the preamble consists of the 8 bits. Next is followed by the destination address, which is of 6 bytes in both the addressing format. This destination address stores the address of the destination, which means where the packet have to be transmitted, that location will be stored in here. If it consists of all ones, destination is the MAC address. Here the destination's MAC address will be stored. If it is 0, then it is an ordinary addressing. But if it is 1, Then it is group addressing, which is also known as multicasting. Next is followed by the 6 bytes, which is the source address. Here the MAC address of the source station will be stored here. Next is followed by the type or the length, which is consists of 2 bytes. Here this stores the length of the data. Next comes the data plus padding. Now what is the padding? Padding consists of adding zeros to the data. This is done to prevent the loss in data. Now last comes the CRC, which is known as a cyclic redundancy check. It helps us to check whether the data which is sent at the destination source is equal to the destination or not, which means it ensures that there is no loss in the data and makes sure that the frame is not corrupted. This checking is done by the CRC, which is of 4 bytes. This is the short and the detailed information about the frame. Now let's proceed with the CSMA or CD with binary exponential backoff. For example, if you are trying, this is you, and if you are trying to call your friend which is B, then at the same time even B wants to call to you. Then what happens? A collision occurs. You will find that the busy tone at B. Even your friend B finds a busy ringtone because you are trying to contact him. And whereas even he will find busy tone because he is trying to contact you. So in this way, what we'll do, you have to wait for some amount of time and then you have to retry again. Now what your friend will do, even he tries to wait for some time and then contact you. If again you both starts contacting each other at the same time, then again collision occurs. So to prevent this, an algorithm is used. So this process keeps on continuing. To resolve this process, we need to use an algorithm where the retransmission of both are different. This is done by backoff algorithm. It is used to allocate the waiting time. This waiting time is known as backoff. So now let us consider a new example. Now let us say there are two different stations A and B, and both are transmitting the data at the same time, which leads to collision here, and a collision signal is being generated, and both of them know that the packets which they sent were collided, so they have to retransmit again. So now using this algorithm, what A should do? A should wait a random amount of time between 0 to 2 power n minus 1. That means A have to choose a value in between 0 to 2 power n minus 1. Now what is this n? N is the number of collision. Here at A, suppose if this is the first time if it is collided, so n value will be 1. Now 0 to 2 power n minus 1, which is equal to 0 to 2 power 1 minus 1, which is 0 to 1. So now A have to choose a value in between 0 and 1. If at B, if we take n equal to 1, the case will be the same, 0 to 1. Then we get 4 possibilities. When A be 0 and B be 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. At both 0, 0 and 1, 1, there is a chance of collision, where in case of 0, 1 and 1, 0, here how to calculate the waiting time? The waiting time is equal to 0 into the time slot. So here the waiting time of A is 0. So here A will be transmitting the data. Whereas here waiting time of B equal to 1 into the transmission. So here as the waiting time of B is 0, here B will be transmitting the data. This is how the collision can be solved. Here, as we are using the waiting time, which is known as back-off, we are naming it as back-off algorithm. Now coming to switched Ethernet. To know what it is, first you have to know what is a hub and what is a switch. Hub is a simply that connects all the computers that attach it to it in a wired manner. Switch helps to connect devices in a network which uses packet switching to send, receive, or forward the data packets over a network. It has many ports. Now let's see the differences between the two. Hub helps to communicate with the devices, that is broadcasting, whereas the switch is a point-to-point connection. And hub operates in the physical layer, whereas switch operates in the data link layer. Hub is not an intelligent device, whereas switch is an intelligent device. How you can say it? Because if you receive any data, the hub will transfer it to all the other computers, whereas in a switch, it will transfer to the only one computer that receives the data. So it is termed as an intelligent device, whereas hub is not an intelligent device because it broadcasts the same message to everyone who is present in the network. And hub is not very costlier, whereas switch is expensive. Now moving on to what is a switched Ethernet. Switch improves the performance of the hub by no collision and ensuring the security of the data. In this diagram, you can see that switch consists of the switch ports. These are known as ports. And these are connected and hubs are connected to the port through twisted pairs. Now, fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet, it reduces the bit time from 100 nanoseconds to 10, which means the transmission time is at a higher rate, but it still detects the collision on time. There are three types of Ethernet, that is 100 base T4, 100 base TX and 100 base FX. Now coming to gigabit Ethernet. It uses point-to-point link. It is same like the fast Ethernet. It supports two operations, full duplex operation and half duplex operations. And it has two features. One is the carrier extension, which tells us how to add its own padding. And next is the frame bursting, which allows the sender to transmit sequence of multiple frames in a single transition. And these are of four types: 1000 base SX, 1000 base LX, 1000 base CX and 1000 base T. SX symbolizes it is of short wavelength, whereas LX symbolizes it is of long wavelength. CX means it is made up of a copper shield twisted pair, and T means unshielded twisted pair. So based on the appearance and the features of the twisted pairs, these are subdivided into four types. That's it for today. I hope you have understood the chapter, and thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, please comment in the comment section and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you.